take a full belly breath in and a long breath out. You do that again. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Right, just kind of let the back side of your body sink into the mat. Your shoulders fall away from your ears. I feel like I'm sitting more these days, and so, I constantly notice my shoulders creeping up towards my ears more tension there. And yes, Robin, more like tight hips. And then begin to notice. Right? Notice what body shows up here this morning. Notice the breath. Notice the sensations. Notice the tightness. Notice the ease. Maybe you notice the sounds in your house. Maybe people are starting to wake up. Just take it all in these opening moments. What are you resisting most? Be open to the whole journey, all parts of it. Is there a feeling, a person, a thought, a project that you've been avoiding? Is there some part of your life that you're refusing to deal with or open up to? Is there something you're resisting, something that makes you stubbornly say no? Ignore the voice that says, this is how I decided it will be, so I will close off to that part. I will not consider it. That is the voice of resistance. Be open to everything. Your most valuable lessons may well come from the things you're resisting most. So in this moment, maybe you notice what you're resisting. I thought that was particularly appropriate. I feel like I go through the course of the day resisting a lot of different things about this new reality. I was talking to a student yesterday on a Zoom meeting. He was in Brazil, and he said, this is just one big adventure. And I was like, yeah, you're right, it is. Right? So as you move through practice, can you be open to whatever comes up? All of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the soreness, the tightness, the ease. Unhinge your jaw. Soften the space between your eyes. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. And then begin to bring some movement into your body. Right? Gentle movement. Right? Maybe you roll your ankles, you roll your wrists, maybe you have a full body stretch. Maybe you hug the knees into the chest, you rock side to side. And as you move, you notice what comes up. You notice what's pleasant, what's unpleasant. And you're going to make your way, and your knees are going to be hugged into your chest. And you're going to drop your knees over to the right. And keeping your shoulder blades on the mat. Broaden across the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, you're going to come back to center, and on the exhale, knees are going to drop over to the left. Right, just waking up the spine. And take a breath in. You come back to center. Your right knee's going to stay hugged in. That left leg's going to go out long on the mat. You're going to take the left hand, cross the right knee over the body. Take a breath in, you uncross that right knee, that leg goes out long, the left knee comes in, you cross the left knee over their body, still keeping those shoulders on the mat, right? And you breathe and you notice, right? Take a breath in, you come back to center. You're going to keep the left knee hugged in. And so you're going to grab the outside edge of your left foot and come into half of a happy baby. All right, so that right leg is long, the spine's on the mat. Right, this is early hip opening. Nothing forced. And keep that spine long. Maybe you even move a little bit side to side. You take a breath in. You're going to release the grip on the left foot. It's going to go out long. You're going to hug the right knee in and then grab the outside edge of the right foot. And come into the half of a happy baby on this side. You breathe. Maybe this side's a little bit tighter. Can you keep that left hip bone grounding down into the mat? Don't let it come up. Yeah. Take a breath in and a breath out. Release the grip on the right foot. Hug both knees into the chest. Start rocking front to back. And you're going to make your way to tabletop. So in tabletop, your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are over your knees, the tops of your feet are flat on the mat. The spine is long, crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. You're going to take a breath in and you're going to lift the heart and drop the belly. Come into cow pose. And then on the exhale, you're going to ground down into your hands and you're going to round the spine. Come into cat. You're going to take a breath in, heart lifts, belly drops. Then on the exhale, you round down, really like resisting the mat with your hands so that you can feel your spine. Yeah, and you're going to keep doing that. You're going to inhale, the heart's going to lift and the belly's going to drop. And the exhale, you're going to round the spine. You can even like throw in like a child's pose, shift your hips back, and then move. Right, just waking up the body. And even in these gentle opening movements, can you notice if some sort of resistance comes up? Like, I don't like this, I'm ready to move. Or, I wish we were doing something else, right? You're going to hear my dog in the background. Right? Do two more, whatever kind of sequence of movement you've found yourself in. And then and come into a neutral spine. That's where we will meet up. And so here the spine is long, right? Really pull the belly button into the spine. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to lift the right leg in the air behind you, okay? So the foot is flexed. Everything's hugging into the center line. Now you may wobble, right? Balance is not easy. You're going to take a breath in. That left hand's going to reach forward like you're shaking my hand. Good. Take a breath in and a breath out. This time, you're going to inhale to lengthen. On the exhale, you're going to bring the right knee and the left elbow together. Bring everything in. Hug it in. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. One more. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. Oh, I lied. One more. Inhale, you lengthen. And then the hand and the knee are going to come down to the mat. I'm not very good at counting, and then sometimes not seeing a body, I really lose track of the counting. Right, so here you're going to kind of recenter, position yourself. The left leg's going to lift in the air, and then when you're ready, that right hand's going to lift, right? You know where we're going. But pause here and balance for a few breaths before you start to move. Right, balance is something that we have to practice, much like noticing what comes up, noticing resistance and challenges. Here we go. Take a breath in. You lengthen on the exhale. Right elbow and the left knee come together in the center. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you hug it in. Last time. Inhale, you lengthen. And then hand and knee come down to the mat. Here, why don't you take your knees wide, sit your hips back, drop into child's pose for a few moments. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. So child's pose, right? This is a place that you can come back to at any point in the practice. It's a point to, it's a literal pause, it's a physical pause, but it's also a good place to come back to ground, right? To come back to your breath. To notice what's resisting, what's challenging you. To come back into the moment. All of it, right? This great adventure that we are on. So walk your fingertips forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and come into downward facing dog. First down dog of the morning, I'm assuming. Maybe you did one when you hopped out of bed. Right, so in downward facing dog, your fingers are spread wide, really pressing down into the hands. Hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. It's like an inverted V, right? You can have a slight bend in your knees. Heels are reaching towards the mat. And notice here, like if anything comes up, like if there's any resistance, is there resistance to stillness? And maybe you lean into that. You always move when you come into down dog for the first time. You're going to take a breath in and come up to your toes. You lift the heels, and on the exhale, you're going to drop the heels over towards the right. Whoa, somebody's sending major emojis. Take a breath in. Exhale, you're going to drop the heels over to the left. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, let the heels sink towards the mat. All right, here we go. Take a breath in. You're going to glide forward to high plank. Right, so here in high plank, and you can drop the knees, right? Knees can touch down to the mat. So in high plank, the shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Belly buttons hugging into the spine. Thigh bones are lifting up towards the ceiling. And you're on the balls of your feet, right? So the heels are stacked over the balls of your feet. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right, so if you can move back and forth between plank and down dog, you know that the width of your down dog is correct. Take a breath in, you glide forward to high plank. Right, and can you just find some ease here? Right, is there a way that you can love all of plank, the shaking, the tightness? Right. Take a breath in, exhale, downward facing dog. So if you know me and you practice with me, you know that I do love myself a good plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, you glide forward to high plank. You also know that I resist chair. Right, we all have our things. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you're going to take a breath in and you're going to walk your hands back to your feet. So you land at the back of the mat. You're going to take your feet wide. You're going to grab opposite elbows and come into ragdoll. Just let your head and neck hang. Maybe you bend your knees a little bit. Maybe you sway side to side. Take a breath in. Fingertips are going to come down to the mat. The left hand's going to stay directly under the left shoulder. You're going to lift the right arm up, twist open. Maybe you bend deeply into that left knee so you can open up across the chest, right? Part of noticing what we're resistant to and opening up to the whole experience of life means opening up the heart. We can't hide the heart and be open. Take a breath in. Right hand comes down, the left hand's going to lift up, bend into the right knee. Take a breath in, left hand comes down. You're going to toe heel your feet back to hip distance, halfway lift on an inhale. So that's really just a flat back, right? So the spine is long. Maybe you reach the arms out behind you. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you ground down, you rise to standing. Maybe you look up. Exhale, you fold. You're going to walk your hands back out to plank and pause. Don't stop breathing. Take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra, so little back bend. Heart lifts up. Exhale, you lower. Inhale, the heart lifts. Hands are light, use your core. Exhale, you lower down. Last one, inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, you lower, and you're going to press back to downward facing dog. So you can press back through your knees or through plank. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, you look forward, feet to the hands. Top of your mat, halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you ground down, you rise to standing. Exhale, you sit the hips back, chair. Right, in chair, so the knees are bent. The heart's lifted. Weights on the back side of the body. Right, and notice here, what comes up? Where can you soften? Where can you breathe in? Find some ease. Take a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you plant your hands. You step back to plank. You pause there for a breath, and on the exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, you make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Look forward, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you bend the knees, you sit the hips back, chair. You stay here for a full breath in and a full breath out. On the exhale, you empty out and fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you plant your hands, you step back to plank. You pause and plank, and on the exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, you make your way back to downward facing dog. So that movement, it's called a vinyasa. You can skip that movement altogether and just go back to downward facing dog. Heck, you could be in child's pose right now, and I wouldn't know. I can't see you. Although I should tell you that I can see you, right? All right. Take a breath in. Look forward, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you bend the knees, you sit the hips, chair. You stay here for a breath, maybe more than a breath. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold, plant the hands, step back to plank and pause. On the exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra, and you make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, you look forward. You can walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Ground down and rise to standing on your breath in. Exhale, you know where we're going, chair. Take a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you plant your hands, you step back to plank. You pause, and then on your exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. And here in downward facing dog, you take a moment and you pause and you notice, right? Notice what you feel. Notice the thoughts in your head. Notice the sensation in your body. Notice what's making you feel alive in this moment. All of it, right? Is there resistance? Is there acceptance? Is there ease? Right? This great adventure at 6:11 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Take a breath in, look forward, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Okay, listen up. So you're going to ground down into the left foot. Right foot's going to lift up in the air as you come to standing. Steph Campanelli calls this Karate Kid, right? So as those that have seen us, right, the knee is lifted, the knee stacked over the ankle, the right foot is flexed. Hands can be at heart center, they can be reaching overhead. Really ground down into that left foot. Pull up through the left standing leg. Hug the belly button into the core. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So you're making the number 4. So we're going into standing pigeon if you know that. And you're going to sit the hip, bend the left knee, sit the hips back. Right, so hands can come to heart center. Beautiful. You take a breath in. You're going to straighten the left leg. Right foot's going to come off the left thigh. So you're back in that Karate Kid move. You're going to take a breath in. Exhale, you're going to stretch the right leg back behind you. Toes are going to touch down at the back of the mat. You're in a low lunge. So hands can frame the left foot. Left knee stacked over the left ankle. Beautiful. You're up on the ball of the right foot. Spine is long, crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Take a breath in. Right hand stays down. That left hand's going to lift up. You're going to twist open. Low lunge twist. Take a breath in and a breath out. Left hand comes down to the mat. Listen up. Right foot's going to step up to meet the left. So you're back standing at the top of your mat. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you empty out and fold. Left leg's going to lift as you rise to standing. Karate Kid on the other side. I think I'm stealing this term for this pose from Steph. Right? So that left foot is flexed. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Bend the right knee. Set the hips back. Right, and so this is one of those poses that you can play with how deeply you get into the hip stretch by how deeply you bend your right leg. Keeping that left foot flexed. Take a breath in. You're going to straighten the right leg. Left foot comes off. Come back to the Karate Kid. You're going to take a breath in. Left leg is going to reach back, touch down to the back of the mat. You're in low lunge. So right knee stacked over the right ankle. Crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Left thigh bones lifting up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. That left hand's going to stay down. The right hand's going to reach up. You're going to twist open. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale, that right hand comes down to the mat. You're going to step back to plank and you're going to pause. Take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra. On the exhale, you make your way back to downward facing dog. You breathe in, you notice. Right, was there a part of that sequence that you resisted, something came up? And how can you open up to all of it? Knowing that it's temporary, right? Okay, we're going to do it again, but you don't have to do it all day. Right? Take a breath in, look forward, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you empty out and fold. Right leg lifts as you rise to standing on an inhale. Exhale, you pause. Going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh, bend the left knee, come into standing pigeon. All right, so the anxiety of not knowing where we're going in that moment is gone. Right? We've been here. You breathe in, you notice. You take a breath in, you straighten the left leg, right leg comes off of the left thigh. You take a breath in, right leg steps back to the back of the mat, you're in a low lunge. Right hand stays down, left hand lifts up, low lunge twist. Open up across the chest. Take a breath in. The left hand comes down to the mat. Inhale, you're going to rise to high crescent lunge. So use your core, lift yourself up. Right, so that left knee is still stacked over the left ankle. You're bending into the left knee. The left thigh is parallel to the mat. You're high on the ball of the right foot. You got it. Breathe in. Arms are reaching up overhead or they can come to heart center. Right, so we haven't been here before. So notice, right? Take a breath in. Exhale, the hands come down to the mat. You step back to plank. You pause. Your exhale, you lower down, move through vinyasa. All right, so if you don't want to do the vinyasa, you just make your way back to downward facing dog. And we do it again on the other side. You take a breath in, you look forward, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold, ground down into the right foot, left leg lifts in the air as you rise to standing. Exhale, left ankle crosses over the right knee, bend the right knee, sit the hips back, standing pigeon. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, you straighten the right leg, left leg comes off, you're in the Karate Kid. Take a breath in, you're going to reach the left leg back, you land in a low lunge. So in a low lunge, your feet are in two separate lanes. Right, lift the left thigh bone up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Low lunge twist, left hand stays down, right hand lifts up. On the inhale here, you lengthen the spine, crown of the head reaches towards the front of the room, and on the exhale, can you open up across the heart, roll the right shoulder on top of the left. Beautiful. Take a breath in, right hand comes down to the mat. Inhale, you rise to high crescent lunge. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. You step back to plank. You pause for a breath in. Exhale, you lower down and move through vinyasa, and we will meet in downward facing dog while I drink a sip of coffee, which I'm almost out of. Maybe I need 2 cups for teaching. If you know me, I also always teach with a very large Starbucks. From downward facing dog. Here we go. Take a breath in, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Ground down into the left foot, right foot lifts up. You come up to standing on the inhale. Exhale, you come into standing pigeon. Right, so that right ankle crosses over the left knee. You bend the left knee. You set the hips back. Take a breath in and a breath out. Left knee straightens on an inhale. Uncross the right leg. Take a breath in. On the exhale, the right foot steps to the back of the mat. You're in a low lunge. Take a breath in. Low lunge twist. Right hand stays down. Left hand comes up. Exhale, that left hand comes down to the mat. Inhale, you rise to high crescent lunge. Exhale, you open it up, warrior 2. Right, so in warrior 2, the left foot is forward, the right foot is back, the right toes are facing the long side of your mat. You're bending into the left knee. Shoulders are moving away from your ears. Right, watch that left knee, that it's not caving in. Like, can you move it out over towards the left pinky toe? Yeah, you got it. Take a breath in. You're going to straighten the right leg and the arms are going to reach up overhead on an inhale. Exhale, you come back to warrior 2. Inhale, left leg straightens, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. Beautiful. One more. Inhale, the left leg straightens, arms reach up overhead. Maybe this time you look up. Exhale, warrior 2. You're going to flip the front palm, stretch back, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands to the mat and move through vinyasa. And so we meet in downward facing dog. You take a breath in and a breath out. Your next inhale, you look forward, you walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. And halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you empty out and fold. You ground down into that right foot. The left foot lifts up on an inhale. Exhale, you cross the left ankle over the right thigh. You bend the knee. You sit the hips back. Maybe you go a little bit deeper. You've been here before. Beautiful. You take a breath in. You straighten the right leg. The left leg comes off on the inhale. Exhale, you step it back. You're in a low lunge. Low lunge twist. Left hand stays down. Right hand comes up. Open up across the heart. Open up to the experience. Open up to the resistance. Take a breath in. Exhale, that right hand comes down. Inhale, you rise to high crescent lunge. Exhale, you open it up, warrior two. And so really seal the outside edge of that left foot against the mat. Keep bending into the right knee. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You're going to straighten the right leg. Arms are going to reach up overhead. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, right leg straightens. Arms reach up. Exhale, warrior two. One more. Inhale, arms reach up overhead as the leg straightens. Exhale, you settle back into warrior two. You're going to flip the front palm, reach back, reverse your warrior. And exhale, you're going to cartwheel your hands to the mat, move through vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog. You take a full breath in and a long breath out. Right, and notice here what's showing up in your body, what's showing up in your mind. What are you resisting? What are you open to? Can you soften that resistance? Take a breath in. Look forward, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. So listen up. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to ground down into the left foot. The right foot's going to lift up. And then you're going to open up into tree. Right, so in tree, the right sole of the right foot is on the inside of the left calf or the left thigh, or the toes can be down on the mat. All right. So just like balancing in the beginning, right? Balancing is not innate in us. It's something that we have to practice. Just like we have to practice opening up to resistance. Right, so you ground down into that left foot. You hug everything into the center. Your arms can stay at heart center. They can reach up overhead. Right, and if you wobble and you fall, you come back in. And you breathe and you notice. Maybe you laugh. Maybe you take a sip of coffee. Maybe you go get coffee because you don't like tree. Right? I don't know what you're doing. And take a breath in and a breath out. That right foot's going to come off the left thigh. You're going to keep it lifted and you're going to step back to warrior two. Right, so the left toes of the left foot are pointing towards the front of the mat. The right toes are pointing towards the long side of the mat. You're bending into the left knee. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to straighten the left leg. Arms are going to reach up overhead. Exhale, you come back to warrior two. You're going to flip the front palm, reach back, peaceful warrior, and you're going to cartwheel your hands to the mat and move through vinyasa, or don't, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. where we have another side. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in, you look forward, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Ground down into the right foot. Left foot lifts up as you rise to standing. Then exhale, you're going to open it up to tree. So sole of the left foot on the inside of the right calf or thigh. You just want to keep it away from your knee. The toes can be down on the mat too. Like, I have hardwood floors in my house, but balancing on carpet can be really challenging. So give yourself some grace, right? Part of opening up to resistance is offering ourselves a little bit of grace. And you pause here and you notice and find something to focus on that's not moving. Makes balancing a tad bit easier. Take a breath in. That left foot's going to come off of the right thigh. You're going to keep it lifted. You're going to take a breath in, and on the exhale, you're going to open it up, warrior two. All right, so keep bending into that right knee. Can you get the thigh parallel to the mat? Sink into the hips. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to straighten the front leg. Arms are going to reach up overhead. Exhale, you come back to warrior two. Now one more time. Right leg straightens, arms reach up. Exhale, warrior two. You're going to flip the front palm, reach back, peaceful warrior. And you're going to cartwheel your hands to the mat. Move through vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog, where you're going to take your knees wide to the mat and come into child's pose. And then in child's pose, you're going to walk your fingertips over towards the right. And I like to take both hands off of the mat, and you're going to press down into the hands or the fingertips, and you're going to continue to draw that left hip bone to the left heel. Right? So really sit the hips back, and you're going to feel the side stretch, the stretch on the side body. And you breathe here and you notice. Keep grounding down into your hands. Take a breath in. You're going to walk your fingertips back to center, and then you're going to walk them over to the left side. Coming into this on the other side, right? And notice that the stretch may feel different, and that's okay. All right, we've got two sides of the body. Poses are going to feel different. So continue to draw the right hip bone back towards the heels. Notice where your mind goes when things start to quiet down a little bit. Take a breath in and a breath out. Walk your fingertips back to center. You're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, you're going to lift the right leg in the air behind you. And then the exhale, you're going to step it forward to the outside of the right hand. So you can bring the left knee down to the mat. We're going into lizard, so you want to walk your right foot towards the right corner of your mat. You can roll to the outside edge of your left foot. You can stay up on your hands, or you can come down to your forearms. And so you breathe here, breathe into the hips. Take a breath in. You're going to walk. If you're on your forearms, come back to your hand. You're going to walk your foot back so that you're in a low lunge. So the right foot is in between the hands. You take a breath in and a breath out. And you're going to step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. That left leg lifts in the air behind you. On the exhale, you step it forward to the outside of the left foot. And you walk the left toes to the left corner of the mat. Roll to the outside edge of that left foot. Right knee can come down to the mat. And you can stay here, come to your forearms. Right, maybe you're hesitant to come down to your forearms because your mind has told you that you can't. Maybe you try it for a breath. You can always come out of it. But to move through resistance, we have to first notice that we're resistant and then be willing to try something. Open up. Open up to the fact that it might not be how we've created it in our mind. Also with the knowledge that we can back off. So you breathe in here. And where can you soften? Like, can you soften between your shoulders? Where can you send breath? Where can you find ease? Take a full breath in and a long breath out. You're going to lift the back knee. Block the left foot in between your hands so that you're in a low lunge. And you're going to step back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you're going to take a breath in, you're going to look forward, and you're going to walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you plant your hands, you step back to plank. You take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you're going to take a full breath in and a long breath out. You're going to look forward And you're going to walk your feet through your hands and come down to your back. You're going to hug your knees into your chest. You're going to rock side to side. If you're just joining us, this video will stay on my Facebook page, or it will be on the Balance Webster YouTube channel later today, so you can always retake this class or any of the classes that we teach. So you're on your back, you hug your knees into your chest. You're going to reach in between your thighs, grab the outside edges of your feet, and come into Happy Baby. All right, full Happy Baby this time. Right, so the spine is long. Right, you're pulling your feet down, energetically pulling your knees towards your armpits. Right, and I don't know how many of you have seen a baby that's still, so maybe you rock side to side here. It's kind of last hip opener. Stretch. Before you begin your day. So release the grip that you have on your feet. Your left leg's going to go out long. You're going to cross the right knee over the body. Right back where we started, just a brief spinal stretch. Take a breath in, the right knee comes back to center, the right leg goes out long, left knee comes in. Cross it over the body. Take a breath in and a breath out. Uncross the left knee, comes back to center. Both legs go straight up in the air. Arms by your side, or you can put your hands underneath your low back. Toes can be pointed, feet can be flexed, you can alternate back and forth. Take a breath in and a breath out. So the right foot's going to come down to the mat, and then the left. Legs go out long. Take a breath in, reach the arms overhead, full body stretch. And then on the exhale, hands come down by your side. Right heel to right corner, left heel, left corner. Let your body sink into the mat. As we head into this final pose of this morning's practice, Shavasana. Can you let your body and mind rest for these few moments? And if you start to drift into resistance or worry or fear or overwhelmed feelings, can you just come back to your mat, come back to your body, come back to your breath. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Some movement into your fingers and your toes. Keeping your eyes closed, roll gently to your right side. Be open to the whole journey, all parts of it. Be open to everything. Your most valuable lessons may well come from the things that you're resisting most. Keeping your eyes closed, help yourself up to seated at the top of your mat. Together, arms reach up overhead on an inhale. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Thumbs rest on your chest. Feel the heartbeat, feel the breath. Together, take a full breath in and a long breath out. The light and truth in me sees and honors that in each of you. Thank you so much for showing up this morning. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Together we say Namaste.